Good evening everyone, welcome to Tabletop Corner. This is a new thing. It's Wednesday, it's the second Wednesday of the month, and at the moment that means we're going to take a look at RPGs, adventure games, tabletop board games, that kind of stuff, and the computer games that have been either inspired by them or that they have spun off from, because it happens both ways nowadays. Those of you who know me well will know that I've spun off an RPG from a computer game, which has, to my knowledge, not really been done before. At least not officially. Or has it? I don't know. There's maybe Fallout. Let's just say that I'm the first. It's probably completely wrong, but I don't care. Hello Garzini, good evening. My game channel title today is slightly misleading. It's not Warlock of Fire and Top Mountain, but it's a similar product. Let's just nip into the game and stream layout and wait and see what's going on. So yeah, as you can see, I am having a bit of a different thing today. I am very aware there is a foot to the ball match going on. I know that I'm probably not going to get a lot of viewers tonight, at least in England, because of this. But I am trying to kind of at least put something on there. Now I'm not sure if this is going to mean I can't broadcast this on YouTube or not, but we'll see. If I need to edit that out for the first hour of the stream, then I shall do so. But yeah. So I'm hoping that obviously the people who like this channel who don't like football, and those who aren't supporting England or aren't Scottish, are going to join in the channel and watch as normal. So I'm hoping things will be... I'm hoping I've catered for everyone's needs tonight, basically. But yeah, you can see my allegiance. Actually, honestly, I'm doing that to be cheeky. I actually do hope that England get through to the final. It might shut everybody up for a while, at least afterwards. I kind of hope they go out, because the constant banging on about football at work, at home, in the street, on the telly is doing my bloody head in. So I would quite like it to finish, and I know if England get beat tonight it'll stop. Hence, come on Croatia, shut the fucking English fans up for 5 minutes. But in terms of getting to the final, that would be great. In terms of winning the World Cup, that would be great. So that's it. No more football. It's in the bottom corner. If you want to have a look at it, have a look at it. If not, shut up, stop talking about it, and let's get on with it. I'm going to make it a bit smaller, because let's face it, this is not my bread and butter. It is. I'm catering to the few rather than the many. And really just want to keep the curiosity going for myself. So if I can see it on the screen, then it's on the screen, isn't it? But anyway, what I'm going to do tonight, because it's going to be because I'm expecting a fairly quiet evening, at least until hopefully just 8:45. I'm not going to take a look at tabletop games themselves this week. I'm going to start off this whole thing by looking at something that's spun off. Now I did mean to get something down, and I forgot to grab it. I'm just going to grab that quickly while we do what needs to be done. So I'm going to flip to a slightly bigger screen. So there's me, hello. Yeah, so fighting fantasy books have been something I've been into since I was a kid. And I'm quite pleased to say that I have retained ownership of most of them. And I've seen that now some of them have become computer games as well. They've actually managed to convert the gamebook format into a fairly usable format of online game. Not online game, but a computer game anyway. So that's cool. So what I'm going to be looking at this evening, apologies if you're expecting Warlock of Fire Top Mountain on Twitch, this will obviously be labelled properly on YouTube, but we have this. Now this is an original printing. £1.50 this cost apparently in the UK, of Steve Jackson's Starship Traveller, the first science fiction fighting fantasy game that was published. I'm not sure, it may actually be the first science fiction game book that was published, because game books weren't a big thing until fighting fantasy started, and this is the first one. So that's Starship Traveller. There's the back. As you can see, all the stuff's in there. You might actually have taken a look at the way that some of this stuff is laid out. Those of you who are aware of my foray into the RPG publishing industry might recognise some of the kind of concepts I've put into my book, like these black and white, oops, wrong side, these black and white banner images that space some of the text out. The concept of using them in a book is one that I did steal for the Elite Encounters book. So, Starship Traveller is what we're going to play. So I shall flip back to our main gaming window and hope that I've set this up right. So let's start it up and see what happens. There you go. I love the music. I'll point out, by the way. Turn that down a little bit. Point out, by the way, that I have not played this before. This is the first of me starting this game up, apart from just having a quick look to get the window the right size and make sure I could see it. But yeah, I'm quite impressed with the presentation. I own the original 2 Warlock magazines, which gave me Warlock Phantom Mountain, all the rest of the game looks like it's pretty cool. Do you know, I've never actually owned Warlock of Firetop Mountain. It's the first 3 I've never owned. The first one I bought was Starship Traveller. And I haven't bought any of them sort of since they were re-released. But I have, and I still do own quite a few of them, I think, somewhere. So shall we see? Let's have a look around what this game is then. So, Story of Starship Traveller. That's just some information about the game, so I want to come out of that now. Okay, not interested in that. Options. Music on, sound effects on, skip intro movie off. So we've got rules, we'll find that out as we go along. Let's just float that past. Credits, let's just float that past as well. So awards. Not done achievements, I've not done any of that yet. So shall we play? Let's have a look. As I say, I've not had a look at this yet. I have had a look at one of the other titles that have been brought out, which is the Steve Jackson Sorcery set. I have all 3 of the computer games based on that quadrilogy of books, so I've had a quick look at that. I quick played the first 5 minutes and I was quite impressed. It's a very good translation. This is the same people, so let's see what happens. Just let me know if anyone can hear me okay, or if there's any issues with the sound. What the hell was that? Play! Starship Traveller is a fighting fantasy game book, an interactive adventure in which you are the hero. In the adventure which follows, you are the captain of a starship, lost in an unknown universe. Your own skills as a captain will determine whether you and your crew will ever see Earth again. You are about to be flung through a black hole into unknown space. Your only chance of return will be to find another suitable black hole and guide the ship through it back to your own universe. You must first choose your difficulty setting. This gamebook has been designed for optimum challenge on the classic difficulty mode. For newcomers to fighting fantasy, we recommend experience the game in free read mode. I'm going to go for classic, I think. Play Starship Traveller as Steve Jackson designed it. Classic difficulty is a faithful recreation of the printed version. What did I just click? Having served as a dedicated officer of the Astro Navy for many years, your experience and skill has been rewarded with your promotion to captain. You wear your new uniform with pride as you enter your name on the registration console. What the hell? The console will determine your base stamina, skill, and luck values. You place your palm flat on the registration console to complete the process. I haven't been able to do anything yet. What the hell? Captain, type name here. I wonder what it will be. Captain Selezen. Done. Gender. My god, it's very trans. Friendly. Male. Registration console requests you finalize your new position with a statistical scan. Using advanced technology, the console will determine your base stamina, skill, and luck values. As I said before, you place your palm flat on the registration console. Blah-de-blah-de-blah. Calculating your stamina. Ooh, shiny dice. Your roll of 6 plus a base of 12 means your stamina is 18. Average. Calculating your skill. Skill is 7. That's quite bad. Calculating your luck. 8. Also not that great. With the process complete, you remove your palm from the console. You adjust your uniform with pride and holster your standard issue phaser. Copyright infringement necessary. Head to the Admiral's quarters for briefing. You arrive at the Admiral's quarters to receive your mission briefing. Admiral Jackson, funny name. Your superior enters and you salute. He explains your mission, your main goal being to seek out new planets and explore uncharted sectors of the galaxy. As the Astro Navy's newest captain, you are to be assigned a starship. Admiral Jackson directs to choose from the following. Take the Traveller, choose your own starship. No, I want the Traveller. Weapons strength. My god, these dice are shit. Weapon strength is 8, that's pretty crap. Shields. My god! This thing is weighted. With the diagnostic set complete, you and the Admiral are satisfied that the Traveller is in perfect working order. Follow Admiral Jackson to assemble your crew. 2 choices when assembling the crew of the Starship Traveller. Get right to the action and take the Admiral's recommendation. Be more strategic and hand-pick your own crew. Okay, I'm going to draw this out for 2 hours, so let's be strategic. Choose your science officer. Garzini. Their gender. No. Calculating stamina. Oh my god! I'm sorry. Science skill. Oh look, something other than a 2. Good skills, Mr. Garzini. Medical officer. Mr. Byford. Their gender. Well, he is a big girl's blouse, so female. Stamina. Well, that's better. 20! All those late night shifts. Oh dear, medical skill is crap. I have an incompetent doctor. She's probably drunk. Next page, please. Continue engineering. It's a sausage fest. Stamina. Shit. Engineering skill. Shit. Security. Who the hell can that be? Stamina. Oh my god! That's quite good for a security officer, you'll need that. Security skill. God damn it, too. Guard number 1. So what about options and menu? Guard. Oh dear, what is this for 2s? Oh my god! This is really loud in my ears here. Security guard 2. Oh my good god. Actually, that was fairly accurate. Oh, bloody hell. These dice suck eggs. Your dice provide suction. That's it. Admiral Jackson hands you a tiny bundle of fur. I remember this from the game. It's a small white cat. The Admiral explains that one of the most important parts of this mission is to research the effects of interstellar travel on pets, and their ability to withstand artificial gravity over long periods of time. The cat's name is... oh my god. To the Starship! Oh, damn it! Your brave crew of the Starship Traveller will give Admiral Jackson a salute. I'll stop doing that shortly. The Admiral gives one final look at the ship's cat and says, "Take good care of Saffron. Godspeed, Captain Selezen." Suddenly bursting in and out of breath. In and out of breath? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. A young man arrives. He apologises profusely to the Admiral for his delay. Admiral Jackson informs you that this ensign is a son of an important senator and will be accompanying you on the mission. Oh, for crying out loud. Well, the son of an important senator, there you go, is gotta be Wagar. That was actually more fitting, so I'm quite pleased with that. You're now ready to set off. You take your seat on the bridge and prepare yourself for the adventure ahead. Panic! From your seat at the helm of the Starship Traveller, you study the VDU engines. Very excited as reports of an overdrive malfunction which has lost the warp engines at 10% velocity. You're watching the velocity indicator advancing rapidly through the safe region towards overload. You hit the communicator button and call engineering for further news. It is not good. The malfunction cannot be traced and will take another 13 minutes for a system tech to provide a full analysis. You are heading towards the Selezen void, which is very similar to Selezen. Out of avoidance, but Science Officer Garzini has another plan. If you swing the ship through its immense gravitational pull, its gravity drag may help reduce your speed as you travel away from it. This is worth a try, but the navigational tuning will have to be precise. sweep the starship hard to starboard as you enter the Selezen's gravitational field. Fasten your eyes on the velocity indicator. Do you agree to leave the planet seems to be working? The game comes down from 10% to 5% to 0 to minus 5%, which isn't a legal percentage. Loud cheers come from the crew, but you are still watching the velocity indicator. It is now showing 15%, minus 15%, then minus 25%, and still falling. The Traveller is being sucked into the Selezen void. Hit the red alert button and instruct all ship's personnel to strap themselves down. The ship begins to warm and shake as it rapidly accelerates towards the black hole. There is nothing you can do to avert the impending disaster. An almighty explosion rocks the ship. All the crew, including you, lose consciousness. Dun, dun, dun. I'm not doing the voice anymore because it's hard in my throat now. Probably going to be rather relieved about that. You and the members of the crew are regaining consciousness. Again, you hit the communicator and call for systems damage reports. All systems appear to be intact until engineering reports that the warp drive engines are dead. You're floating in space, but your drive reactors should be operational in 20 to 30 minutes. You can expect all you like, Garzini. Your navigation officer is bewildered. He cannot identify your whereabouts, and then the computer reports you are in uncharted space. Science Officer Garzini has run an event analysis, and you appear to have gone through the black hole through a dimension warp. And you are now in what appears to be a parallel universe. Just shake your monitor, that'll do. After some delay, you regain warp drive. Long-range scan indicates 3 solar systems ahead, of which 2 may have intelligent life. What are your orders? So, shall I open these options up to chat, or as we call it, Garzini? Oh dear. It would appear Croatia has just equalised. That was kind of accidental. Bloody hell. Anyway, straight ahead, do you think? Go for it. You increase speed towards a dull blue planet and start... By the way, right, before I go ahead, right, in terms of the fussball, my prediction for tonight, when I was talking to people at work earlier, was I think it'll be a 1-1 draw come the end of the game. Then no more goals during extra time, and then they'll lose it on penalties. Did he just say fuck's sake? See, this is what England do. They faff around. They get a goal, then they faff around, and then they get a goal against them, and then they just keep faffing around. And then they pull everyone back to defend, and hopefully nobody else gets a goal, and then they just muck it about. They have actually got good skills. This is the thing. They just can't find that square bit at the end of the pitch. Oh, anyway. You increase speed towards a dull blue planet and start to orbit it. Short-ranging scanners indicate there is a life-bearing planet. The most heavily populated area appears to be a city in the centre of a large island. What are your orders, Captain? Beam down to the city centre and leave orbit and continue on. Well, we've come all this way. I'm going to take the decision here that we're going to beam down. Assemble your crew. Okay, so we'll take the science officer. How many people do I need to take? I'm gonna take... Do I need the engineering guy? I don't think so. Not yet anyway. Let's take the security officer and security guard Millie. That'll do the trick. Materialise on the planet's surface and look around. You are in a wide street of some kind which is completely deserted. I thought that said desecrated there, that was weird. Buildings of sorts line the street, and behind you a large building stands at the end of the road. The buildings are strange structures. There are a multitude of shapes and sizes and all look incomplete. Continue down the road, approach the large building. Approach one of the smaller buildings. Now I'm going to say that the large building is probably one of those things. The large building at the end of the road is always quite a thing. So steps it up to the large building, and an inscription on the door indicates there is a building of some importance. You knock, but there's no reply, although you can hear excited chatter coming from within. You try the door, it opens, and you step into a large entrance hallway. Several pairs of aliens of a variety of shapes and sizes cross the corridor in front of you, travelling purposely from room to room and arguing excitedly with each other. A mysterious creature, dressed in shabby blue robes, notices you and shuffles over. Its face cannot be seen, but its eyes shine bright blue on you. It speaks, and your translator interprets, "Ah, you look interesting. Where do you think the new medicine house should go?" You explain that you're new to these parts, and that you would like to meet some person of authority. The alien laughs. "No one has authority here, my friend. We are all equal. Come, let me show you round." Well, you see, people who say come, it's like, "Come, let us show you things. Come, enter my domain." They're evil, so I'm not sure. So we'll let them take us to, let's say, the main meeting hall. You enter the main meeting hall and sit down in a crowded debating chamber, packed with aliens of all shapes and sizes. You ask your host, who is called Fioral, what is going on, and he informs you that the debate is to decide where to put a new medicine house. And that's been going on for the equivalent of a year. As there is no central stage, you ask who is talking. "Everyone," says Fioral. "Everyone," says Fioral. "We believe in equality and everyone has a right to speak, Captain Selezen." Apparently debating here is unlike the method used on the Earth. Here everyone collects together and talks in little groups. As debaters move from one group to another, gradually new ideas spread through the whole of the chamber, until everyone is thinking along the same lines. Spelling mistake. At this point, decisions get implemented. You ask whether this takes a long time, and Fioral agrees that it does, but it's the fairest way and prevents a convincing speaker swaying the audience or establishing themselves as a leader. As the debate seems to be getting nowhere, you decide to leave. Fioral offers to take you to the travelling maps room. Oh, travelling maps. Well, we need to know where we're going. Yay, Sterling's coming off. Thank God for that. He's fucking useless. Honestly, such a hesitant player. Anyway, follow Fioral to the travelling maps room. Yeah, let's do that. Travelling maps room is a state of chaos. Books and charts lie all over the floor and the various tables in the room. A small, withered alien with a large head, blue skin and long fingers is asleep in one corner, but wakes as you enter. You ask first for maps of the planet, but can learn little from them. While you wonder whether any of the star charts will be of use, the little man finds a large map and allows you to study it. Apparently, you're in a solar system around the sun Magnus. Oh, that's an interestingly English word for a parallel universe where no one knows who Magnus is. Apart from this one, there's only one other life-bearing planet in the system called Trax, orbiting Magnus a little further out. Trax was recently devastated by war, and many of its inhabitants left to settle on this planet. The other two nearest planets, although light years away, are Kulimata, orbiting a purple sun, and Makoman, orbiting a double star. No black holes are to be found on the chart. You thank the creature for his help, and leave the building, bidding goodbye to Fioral as you leave. You head outside to return to the Traveller. Beam up. Yeah. Back on the bridge, you set coordinates for your next journey. Another life-bearing planet orbits the same sun, a little further out. Medical survivors tend to be wounded on board the ship. 2 summoners hold any injured crew members. Orbit the life-bearing planet. Is that course for the purple sun? We know the life-bearing planet is probably Trax, so let's take a look, shall we? You approach the large red planet at sublight speed and set an orbiting course. Scanning the surface, you find no trace of intelligent life, but signs of civilization. Every time I look at this football game, they're in England's half, and have the ball. What the hell are England playing at? They started off that first half so strong, and then have just gone to sleep. On the break, sorry. Scanning the surface, you find no trace of intelligent life, but signs of civilization, and a fairly advanced one at that, are apparent. As you observe the planet through your macro telescope, you see that the surface is covered in a network of roadways and canals, focused every so often at what must be a population centre of some sort. You try various radio frequencies, but there is no response. Let's beam down and have a look. We'll take Garzini again. I think Garzini is going to be the most often one taken. I'm going to take the engineering officer. I don't know why. Beam down. Nice picture that. You choose a location within what ought to be one of the planet's main population centres. You beam down and when you rematerialise you're in a deserted street. There is a ghostly silence about and something is not quite right. The buildings around you and the vehicles lying derelict by the side of the road appear to be from quite an advanced civilization, but dust is thick on everything, as if there has been no activity here for many years. Cautiously you walk down the street. As you approach a junction at the end of the street you hear a noise and stop. The others look at you quizzically and listen, but they can hear nothing. You creep forwards towards the corner and jump back sharply as a shape appears. "Visitors!" says a voice. The creature is roughly man-sized and wears a flowing white cape. "We have not had visitors for many years." You explain you are from another planet, and the alien nods its hairy head. You ask whether it is possible to meet someone in a position of authority, and the creature considers for a moment. Suddenly, you hear a small click, and a shrill buzzing noise, and the alien drops to the ground, scorched by a phaser blast from one of your party. You whirl round in disbelief. Which crew member shot first? Or speak to your crew. I'm not allowed to do that, so I'm going to do that. Which crew member shot first? Did you? I'm going to say it's going to be Edward, because he's quite hot-headed. Edwin looks proudly at the dead alien, and you order your other companion to hold them. Snatching their weapon, you demand to know why they fired at the alien. "Why?" they gasp. "If I hadn't fired, he would have killed you, Captain Selezen. Did you not see the weapon in his hand aimed at you?" "You certainly didn't see a weapon in the alien's hand, and neither did your other crew member." "What now, Captain?" "Send the trigger-happy companion back to the ship. Beam the alien up to the ship, to see whether anything can be done for them. Or let your companion off with a caution and continue." Now that's interesting. Now, given that we don't really know all that much about the crew at this point in time, we're going to take the sort of Star Trek thing that if something like that happens, it's unusual for someone to just fire off, to just shoot off a phaser with no reason and without any kind of hints that this was going to happen. So I'm going to beam the alien up for the moment. Flipping communicator open, you instruct the ship to beam the alien back aboard so that medical officer Piper can have a look at him. The alien disappears. You prepare to continue, but a message from the ship comes through. Apparently the alien did not arrive. You confirm that it definitely left the planet. There is little you can do about it now, and you leave the problem with your transmatter crew. Continue exploring the planet. Turning the corner, you continue for several meters. A noise behind you startles you and you stop. With a sudden chill of panic, you realise what the noise is. It is the multiple hammer sound of a pre-laser weapon. Someone or something is firing a machine gun at you. You drop to the ground and scream at your companions to do likewise. As you all lie there with bullets flying over your heads, the other two look at you puzzled. "Captain, why are we lying in the road?" says one of them, standing up. To your amazement, he stands in the hail of bullets, completely unharmed. Gradually the sound fades, and the others help you to your feet, looking at you in a most peculiar way. A little further down the road, you come across a large building. So enter the building or continue down the road. Enter the building. See, at this point I'm going to kind of pause and just take stock of what this game is like. What they've done here is they have done a very good job of translating a gamebook into an online book form. It is just text. You're reading text out and doing stuff. The reason I thought this might be interesting to play is because the sorcery introduction, the first 5 minutes that I played, was a lot more interactive than this. You had quite an interactive menu system, you had some pictures and stuff, you could actually move a little piece around, like a miniature piece around a board game style thing, and so on. But this is just essentially reading. So I mean, if you guys, if anyone else is in chat other than Garzini, which doesn't look like his at the moment, I have no issue with carrying on. Alternatively, reading it out is obviously something I can do continually to give you at least something to listen to in this rather text-based game. So yeah, just let me know if you have any issues. Let's have a look at the map. So we have tracks. You enter the building and look around. It appears to be a library of some sort. You notice on the entrance desk a type of newspaper and take it with you. Perhaps it will give you some sort of clue as to why this whole city seems to be deserted. Luckily, the library is computer controlled. You switch on a console and after some whirring sounds, a voice comes back. Good afternoon, reader. What subject will it be today? First of all, you ask for local history, but the most recent entry appears to be some time ago when the city was bustling with life. One of your crew members rushes over. Captain, they say, I've just been looking at the astronomy files. There's a black hole which I think may be a space warp. It's in sector 288. This news is indeed exciting. You decide to head back to the ship. That's a bit railroady. And again they're in England's half. Back on board, you announce your news to the crew. As a navigation officer selects the course, you remember the newspaper and pass it on to the language lab for analysis. Using your long-range scanner, you discover a purple star just within range and a small cluster of stars some 2.3 light years off to starboard. The medical officer Byford tends to the wounded on board the ship, blah 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 blah. Okay, now one of the things to remember about this game was that there was a thing where you had to kind of find how you were going to get home. And in order to do that, you had to have paid attention to some stuff that was going on to find out where your black hole might be. So I'm just going to take note of sector 288 as being an option there. So, where next then, officers? Or officer, because I think it's just Garzini watching. Because this football's obviously far too exciting compared to some Scottish guy doing funny voices reading out a book. So we're going to set course for the purple star or the small star cluster. They've mentioned purple stars, so let's go find out. As you travel towards your destination, your language lab reports some interesting findings from the newspaper you gave them. You've just come from the planet Trax, a fairly advanced civilization. Some years before the paper was published, a great debate occurred, and two groups emerged with two schools of thought. The progressives were modern thinkers set on material progress, computerization, and a more scientific view of the future. The regressives, on the other hand, disliked the inhuman element of the progressives' world and preferred a return to basics, where people did not rely on machines. A period of Cold War ensued until the regressives discovered that the progressives had developed a powerful hallucinatory drug. The progressives had intended to use the drug on the regressives, but when the plot was discovered, they agreed to send all stocks of the drug into space out of the way. Something went wrong, however, and the rocket exploded in the planet's upper atmosphere, subjecting the entire planet to severe hallucinations. On the day the paper was published, its effects were just beginning to be noticed. Shaking your head sadly at the tragic end to this pointless war, you return to the bridge and plot your next course. So we're going to this purple star, weren't we? Approaching the purple star, your scanners indicate that the second planet has an atmosphere ideal for life. You drop into orbit around this planet and scan the surface. There are strong indications of intelligent activity. Indeed, it is likely that the planet's civilization is further advanced than your own. Are we beaming down, or are we going to fuck off? Answers on a postcard. Just in a longer. Good point. Yep. It'd be rude, wouldn't it? So we'll take Garzini again, and we'll have a security man. That's it, done. Okay. Beam down. Oh, it's a Thargoid! You try an all-frequency broadcast several times but receive no messages in reply. You and your crew enter the transmitter unit and beam down to the surface. You materialise in a deserted street. Tall buildings on one side tower over you, while on the other side of the street the buildings are small. Perhaps these are private dwellings. The architecture is alien, but no life of any kind can be seen. In the distance ahead of you down the road, you can hear a whirring sound. Soon you can see a strange vehicle, which seems to be heading towards you. It is a hovercraft of some kind, and is moving slowly. As you decide what to do, your translator picks up a sound. Over here, quick! You look around and see a human-sized, somewhat insect-shaped creature beckoning you into one of the small buildings. I'm going to suggest we follow the creature in. Yeah, why not? You run off the road and follow him into the building. Just in time, he exclaims. You don't want the PCs to find you in the street, do you? You have no idea what he's talking about. You explain you're not from this planet. He's on his guard. You reassure him you mean no harm. You just want information which may help you get home, and he calms down. You are on the planet Collimatter, he informs you. The PCs you have just escaped from are the population controllers. On this planet no one dies, but as the population increases it is necessary to exterminate some of us to make room for others. The PCs have the authority to exterminate anyone they like within certain quota limits without reason. They would certainly have killed you had they caught you outside after curfew hours. Suddenly the door crashes open and 3 creatures in armoured uniforms step in. Oh, I thought I saw them enter this building, their leader declares. Inside. He orders. Your host protests that you are aliens and did not know about the curfew laws, but the PC leader points a finger and an electric blue ray burns through his chest. You decide it'd be prudent to obey the PC's orders. Follow the PCs outside. You explain you're from another planet and therefore know nothing of their curfew laws. It is illegal to be outside our curfew. It is illegal to be outside our curfew, says their leader. The penalty is extermination. Enter this vehicle. What now? Obey the aliens. Draw your phasers and fire. Pretend to comply, then take them by surprise. I cast my eyes sideways at my security guard, who isn't here, personally, and my science officer, who is around. My preference, incidentally, would be pretend to comply, then take them by force. Take them by surprise, sorry. But we'll see. You walk up to the entrance doors to climb into the vehicle. As you pass by the aliens, you signal to the others and the 3 of you spring on them. This proves to be rather fruitless exercise, as the 3 creatures are immensely strong. They fling you to the ground, but as you fall you must grab the helmet off one of the aliens. It stops dead in its tracks in a very artificial pose, as if some switch has suddenly turned it off. The leader grabs the helmet and replaces it on his colleague, who instantly springs back to life. You realise you'll be no match for the creatures. Climb into their vehicle as they have ordered. As you enter the vehicle, it rocks from side to side. Your captors climb in and start the hover engine, swinging the car round the way it came. You travel for half an hour or so and finally stop outside a large round building. It looks like there's going to be extra time again, doesn't it? Other similar cars have stopped there as well, and numerous aliens are being led into the building. You're taken inside and put into a room, which is evidently a cell of some kind, along with 4 aliens. They seem resigned to the fact that they are about to be exterminated as part of a population control program. You cannot understand why they're so unemotional about their impending death. One of the uniformed creatures calls for your party. You will have to act quickly. So to try and fight our way out, contact the ship, or arrange with someone in authority. Now, trying to contact the ship. I don't know. Can we get through this and try and see if we can get a hold of someone in charge? Or right, free kick right on the end of time. This is where England can do this. That's quite scary. Diplomacy. Alright, let us try and arrange to see someone in authority then. You make your request, but the alien merely shoves you forwards. This is not possible, it explains. You ought to be taken to the extermination chamber. Attempt to overpower the alien. Well, I ain't going to no fucking chamber, so I'm going to attempt to overpower the alien. As you follow the armoured guard through a long tunnel, you seize your opportunity and spring. The creature is extremely strong, but your numbers may give you the upper hand. If the battle is going badly, you may surrender, but only if you or one of your companions has been reduced to less than 4 stamina points. You must fight! Oh, 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 oh! Armoured guard. Punchy, punchy, punchy! So, for me, stun range, skill, and attack power. Yeah, let's punch! Fight! Fight! Booyah! Switch these guys up. Yay! Hey! So I've got the higher number there, so how the hell did I not get the attack? What the hell? Well, that's fair enough, because both his numbers were higher than mine. Oh my god, seriously? You head for the centre of the complex, dodging around the corners so as to avoid the creatures. You try your communicator several times to reach the ship, but something is jamming the signal. You pass one room in which the walls are covered with electronic equipment. Perhaps this is a transmission room, transmitting the signal which is blocking your own signal to the ship. Two aliens sit inside, but your attempts to contact the ship on your own communicator have turned them into statues. Entering the room, although how I know that I don't know. Entering the room, you play with the controls until eventually a signal comes back through your communicator from the ship. You give the order to beam up straight away. It will take several seconds to fix on your exact coordinates, and while you wait, you remove one of the alien's helmets. Inside the helmet and the creature's head is a massive electronic circuitry. You had been captured by androids. You keep the helmet for investigation on the ship, and moments later the transmatter beam locks on to take you up. Daddy Hoggy! Medical Officer Byford tends to the wounded on board the ship. 2 stamina are restored to any injured crew members. The electronics lab reports that the helmet you brought back was indeed an advanced piece of work. With a few adjustments, they will be able to prepare it so that when you wear it, you increase your skill by 1 point. This will undoubtedly be useful. Leaving orbit, you scan the space ahead of you. There is a planet ahead, some 3.6 light years away, which may support life. You enter warp speed and head towards it. Daddy Hoggy, hello sir. Welcome to where you are a security officer. You approach a medium-sized blue-green planet and take up orbit position. Scanning the planet's surface reveals several clusters of intelligent life forms. You try to contact them, but nothing comes up on the radio. What are your orders, Captain? Well, we've come all this way, as we've said, so let's beam down. So we'll have the football's in the bottom corner, Mr. Hoggy. So we'll have Science Officer Garzini, Security Officer Hoggard, actually I'm going to take Security Guard Millie this time, and I'm going to take Edarin as well. You land on the planet and look around. A thunderstorm is raging around you and it's pouring with rain. You are standing on rocky ground about 100 metres from what appears to be a village of some kind. 3 aliens, presumably villagers, are shuffling around about halfway to the village, but as you appear, they are startled and turn to face you. They are strange, podgy creatures with long necks and stumpy legs. One of the aliens turns and waddles off back to the village at what must be a running pace. The other 2 are advancing towards you with weapons, long pointed sticks drawn. Yeah, well, I thought, you know, I need to know what's going on with it, so I know what to expect tomorrow, and I wanted to see just how badly they did. And they've done okay so far, I suppose. They gave away that stupid goal, but I mean that goal they got from the free kick in the first half was really, really good. And obviously, you know, my wife's interested. I'm getting to the point where I need to kind of know what's going on. I am curious, but hey, it's not going to stop. Not going to stop me from doing this. I thought you might. The ship's cat is called Wagar. No, it isn't. The ship's cat is called Saffron. The son of an admiral ensign on the ship is called Wagar. We've got Garzini and Edarin, and you and Millie and Evie and someone else who I can't remember. That's fine. Wait for the aliens to arrive, walk towards them, meet them in halfway, or make a dash for the village. Let's walk towards them, meet them halfway. They hold their ground and ready their weapons. They shout at you, and through the translator you hear they're telling you to remain where they are. I'll just wait then. Fair enough. Through your translator you talk to them, explaining your mission. They're suspicious and hold you at bay with their weapons, but agree to take to the village elder to talk. Let's do that then. As you enter the village area, other aliens shuffle towards you inquisitively. You are marched to a large hut in the centre of the clearing to meet the village elder. Oh, you're giving it away again, look, you twats. You enter this hut and see a large, somewhat wrinkled alien squatting in a far corner. After you've exchanged introductions, you begin to question him. Yeah, that's fine, not a problem, I'll turn that down. I was just thinking it's bloody loud as well, because it's really loud in my ears, but there's no volume control as such, it's either on or off. If that's better, I hope it's better. Why didn't Garzini say anything about that? Yeah, I'll have to agree with that, John. The dice rolls we had for creating the characters were abysmally poor. So, as you enter the village area, other aliens shuffle towards you inquisitively. Blah 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 blah. Ask them about the planet and its inhabitants, or ask about their knowledge of astronomy. Let's ask them about the planet and its inhabitants first. The alien is quite a talkative creature and tells you that you're on the planet Kleba. On the surface of the planet there are many villages of similar creatures. Their stage of cultural development seems to approximate that of Middle Ages on Earth. Ow! They are an agricultural race. Interesting. The weather on the planet used to be excellent, but bad weather has ruined their crops for several seasons. The weather is controlled by someone they refer to as the Rain Lord, who lives in a fortified castle 2 hours' journey from their village. The Rain Lord is, they believe, punishing them with this bad weather. As the crops have been falling, the village has been hit by famine and disease. If you have your medical officer with you, you can offer to see what can be done for the sick. God damn it. You may ask them whether they have any knowledge of astronomy, or you may offer to try to contact the Rain Lord. Let's fix the Rain Lord shit out. Following their directions, you head towards the hills to visit the Rain Lord's castle. After some 15 minutes walk, you see a large building in the distance, and it takes you another 15 minutes to reach it. Evidently a walk which takes you half an hour would take the aliens much longer at their sluggish pace. You reach the gate and can see an armed guard barring the way. Draw your phasers and shoot at the guard, or continue up the gate and talk to the guard. Let's be diplomatic. The guard sees you and flurries into action. Raising its head in the air, it lets out a shrill whistle. Seconds later, you look up and see that you're surrounded by alien guards. Oh, for crying out loud! This is a very hostile universe. You're escorted into the castle towards the central keep, apparently the nerve centre of the castle. You explain that you wish to meet the Rain Lord. One of your guards goes off to the keep and comes back some moments later. Another group of guards comes over to take you inside the keep. As you enter, your eyes widen. You're not in the Great Hall, or perhaps stateroom you had been expecting, but in a large computer complex. The walls are lined with sophisticated control panels covering gauges, dials and indicator lights. In the centre of the room, behind a large screen flanked with a number of keyboards, sits a human figure. As you approach, this figure turns round on his chair. Aha, our intruders, chuckles the small man sitting at the controls. Perhaps you may be able to help with our little problem. But firstly, I thank you for your peaceful approach. Please accept this small token of my gratitude. He gives you a strange triangular crystal device. This transdimensional compass may be of use. Not enough to, say, guide a starship, but when useful for a single person, it may prove useful. The man calls himself Bransell. You introduce yourselves and tell him your story. I may be able to help Captain Selezen, says Bransell, if you are able to help me first. He goes on to explain that many years ago he was an interstellar trader, carrying a cargo of sophisticated planet control computers to Galena 3 in another sector of the galaxy. His warp drive failed and he was forced in orbit around this planet. It's possible. Who's Brian Ansell? He was able to contact Galena 3 to explain the delay, but they would take no excuses and cancelled the order. Thus he was left with his cargo and no buyer. Facing financial ruin if he returned home, he just had to settle on the planet. Through his advanced knowledge, he was quickly hailed as a sort of god by the inhabitants, who built him a castle in which he could set up his planet control equipment. Since then he's indeed acted as a god, and, by his own account, a benevolent one at that. However, some time ago he discovered a malfunction in the weather planning system, which meant he no longer had control over the weather. As the climate was normally very damp,
The years of fine weather he provided for the benefit of the inhabitants' crops had resulted in huge reserves of rain being stored in the planet's clouds. As soon as control was lost, a torrential downpour started. If you have knowledge of planet control systems and can help me get back control of the weather, I'm sure the computer's knowledge of astronomy will be able to help you get back to your own universe, promises the little man. If Science Officer Garzini are coming due to the planet, call them in. Scrutinising the planet's control systems, Science Officer Garzini studies the complex programming of the strange machinery. Hopefully they'll be able to restore the planet's weather back to normal. Now we must roll equal or lower than Garzini's science skill of 11. Booyah! If the number 2 is equal to or less than Garzini's skill, poop. Science Officer Garzini takes a dump. Really? Was that the time, Garzini? Seriously? Science Officer Garzini takes a dump of the weather control program back to the ship to try to analyse it on the ship's computer. Oh, Bransell, he was an MD of Games Workshop. It's possible then, yeah. Because obviously, I mean, this stuff was kind of... I mean, this book was made before Games Workshop existed, I think. Because Steve Jackson went from doing these into setting up Games Workshop independently as a separate entity, so I don't know, it might actually be kind of along the same lines, you never know. It's been written in a strange language, but the computer is able to give some insight into its logic patterns. Garzini alters it slightly and runs the modified program. Within a few moments, the rain dies down. Bransell is delighted and offers to use his computer to search for a suitable black hole to transport you back to your own universe. The computer locates several such black holes. Unfortunately, it cannot distinguish between them, but it is able to tell you that you'll have to travel towards it at warp speed 3 to effect the transfer successfully. Okay, so there we go. Not bad. That was useful info. You leave orbit and probe with your scanners for likely destinations. Some 3.3 light years away is a large red planet which you can head towards. Medical Officer Byford tends to the wounded on board the ship. 2 stamina are restored to any injured crew members. Let's have a look. Have we got any... So... This is our peeps. So we've got me, I'm getting healed slowly. Garzini is up to full healing, which is good. Stamina, oh, Mr. Hoggard's not particularly happy at the moment, he's been beaten up quite severely. Medical Officer Byford, who's a bit of a butch, well, woman, is doing quite well, and all the guards and all that's fine. Yeah, fair enough. It's all good info. Get rid of that for now. Alright, what's my map? We've got purple star there, kill them at our tracks. Kleba. That's where we are now. That's cool. Right, okay. Large red planet, here we come. You search the warp drive and head towards the red planet. As you reduce from warp speed, you approach a small grey planet. What are your orders? Enter orbit around the planet or continue almost to the original destination? You know what? We're passing. Let's nip in. They might have some chocolate. The planet appears to have no life on it, but scanners detect some sort of activity, perhaps the regular workings of a machine. You decide to investigate and send out a party in a recon plane to see what's happening. I'm just going to check something, hang on.
Yeah, there, incidentally, is the original page where that where this page comes from. The ship design there is very different, so it's quite interesting. It's interesting how these things evolve. The planet appears to have no life in it, but it's scanned to detect some sort of activity, perhaps the regular workings of a machine. You decide to investigate and send out a party in a recon plane to see what's happening. They pilot the plane to the area of the signal and land on the planet. It's rocky and barren, but not far from where they've landed they find a scout ship of a type they've never come across before crashed into the surface. Will you attempt to investigate further or return to the ship? I'm going to investigate it further. They can find no signs of the pilot. Perhaps he's died or was killed in the crash. An automatic signal, probably a type of mayday call, is being transmitted by the ship's radio. There being nothing else to do on the planet, your crew return to the recon plane and fly back to the ship. So what was the point in that then? Landing the recon plane, the party makes the way to the briefing room to report you. As they relate their findings, you are interrupted suddenly with an urgent message. Captain, we've lost 3 of our engineering personnel who were involved with docking the recon plane. They're all dead. What will be your first command? Put the landing party into quarantine medical section. Seal off the docking plane, jettison the recon plane. Jettison the recon plane. Use crew, send the plane off into space. It enters the planet's atmosphere and hurtles down to crash on the surface. You wait, and some moments later a report comes through. It seems that, whatever it is, this killer has spread into the... Oh, for fuck's sake. This killer has spread into the engineering section as 2 crew have dropped dead. One of these may be engineering of Selezen as they were at work there. Roll 2 dice. If you roll a 2, click that. 3 and 2. Oh, there you go then. That's cool. Well done. Some good research. Science Officer Garzini reports to you with a suggestion, hoping to contain any further infection. Roll 2 dice. Must roll equal to or lower than Garzini's science skill of 11 to succeed. Yay. If the number roll is equal to or less than Garzini's skill, click on that. This suggests you seal off the docking bay, as it seems apparent that a poison of some kind has been brought back to the Traveller in the recon plane. No doubt the landing party are not affected as they were wearing EVA suits. You agree and give the command. You also have the areas of the engineering lab which have been affected seal off. Seal off the docking bay. Quickly, the crew seal off the affected areas so as to prevent the spread of this unknown killer. No more deaths are reported. Consult with your medical team. Using an EVA suit, Medical Officer Byford examines the body of one of the victims. They find that the man has been poisoned. The planet below must have some sort of poisonous gas in its atmosphere. And this has now been carried back to the ship. Order the medical officer to search for an antidote or evacuate the air from the affected sections. Does anybody have any suggestions? Get the dock on the case. Garzini beat you to it. I must admit though, I would have preferred the option for dump the air. Roll 2 dice, equal or lower than Byford's medical skill. Oh shit. Yay! Medical Officer Byford comes up with a possible antidote and injects herself. She goes down to the docking bay without an EVA suit and wait. An hour later, they have still shown no signs of illness. And it was worked. Booyah! Back on the bridge, you set your course. Ahead of you are 2 planets. Set course for the large red planet, set course for the blue planet, or set course for a small, fast-moving spot with signs of life. Shall we investigate the moving spot? A USS potentially? I think so. Cute. You head into space with scanners probing ahead of you. A small, fast-moving dot comes within range. As you approach it, you identify it as another ship. You send out an all-frequency radio message until an alien face appears on your screen. The face is brown, scaly, and somewhat reptilian, and introduces itself as Commander McMall of the Imperial Ganzig Confederation. Have we encountered the Imperial Ganzig Confederation before? No, we have not. As it has said to us. McMall declares McMall declares you're trespassing in Confederation territory and claims you as a prisoner. He instructs you to follow his ship to a nearby starbase. Okay, I don't want to start a shooting war, so let's accompany McMall. You follow the Ganzigates for several hours until a small round object is picked up by your scanners. Ahead of you is a large wheel-shaped structure rotating slowly. The Ganzigates announce their arrival. Monitoring their conversation, you learn this is the spaceport Lar Jamil. McMall once again contacts you and gives you docking instructions. You dock the Traveller and wait while he tracks your story. Some time later you see the Ganzigate ship leave dock. Presumably you've either been cleared, forgotten about or ignored. You decide to leave the ship. Investigate the spaceport. You've been railroaded again. Crew 1, Crew 2 and Crew 3 remain behind at the space station. You must continue on without them. Okay. Inside the spaceport, you follow the corridor until you're approached by a hovering device of some kind. It announces itself as a service robot and asks if it may be of assistance. What do you ask of it? Take me someone of authority? Are there any recreational facilities here? How may I give my ship a service overhaul? Take me to your leader. The service robot leads you to a waiting room. After several minutes you're shown into a plush office with polished metal walls. Behind a desk, standing before a large window looking out to space, sits a large creature. It has a large head and torso and is shaped like an old-fashioned egg timer. The alien introduces itself as Doozy. These have got to be names based on real people again. Doozy. Dowsy. Anyway. And asks how he may help you. He's apparently the controller of this spaceport. You explain your position and ask whether he may help you find your way back to your own universe. He asks you to wait while he contacts his mapping section. Sitting bolt upright, in a state of meditation, he appears to be contacting someone by telepathy. You wait patiently. Suddenly he snaps out of his trance. I cannot guarantee that this information will help you, he says, but my mapping officer has done some studies on gateways between universes. It seems that likely that two universes will touch in the near future. Stardate 77 to be precise. So I'll take note of that number. Although there is no way of telling whether this is likely to be your own universe. You'll be able to transfer only through a black hole, but he cannot be certain which one. You thank him for his information and beam up to the ship. Medical Officer Bryford tends to the wounded on board the ship. 2 stamina restored to any injured crew members. Starting up the engines, you leave the spaceport and head off into deep space. Oh. Crew begins to command about their fate. Will they be spending the rest of their lives searching space for a dimensional gate which may never appear? You are called on to make a statement to reassure them. Have you learned the time and space coordinates of the black hole, which will hopefully take you back to your own universe? Well, I have 3 bits of information. I have Sector 288 as a place, Stardate 77 as a time, and a speed of warp 3 to transit successfully. Shall we give that a try? Or is that too easy? Do you know, England look like they're panicking. It looks really raggedy at the moment. Okay, shall we give it a go? Let's see what we've got then. So you call all your section heads to the briefing room and announce that you believe you have the space and time coordinates for a likely black hole. If your velocity and timing are right, you ought to be able to pass through this black hole, which may be the Saltian Void, and emerge in Earth's universe.
Okay, give me a ping when you're back, Daddy Hoggy, and I'll wait and not do this until you come back. So in the meantime, I'll read the rest of the page then. You return to the bridge and prepare for the journey, setting off towards your black hole. You organise a list of potential space warps which might lead home. You remember the astronomy files you discovered in the deserted library of tracks. They indicated there may be a space warp at the black hole found at sector 288. So do we travel to the black hole at sector 288? So we're going to go ahead with this. So we're going to go yes. Although we have an option to go for a random black hole. But yeah, I'll wait till Daddy Hoggy gets back. So please allow us to pause just for a few minutes. I must admit, I was young when I played this book. I mean, it was what year was it printed in? (1983), or this is a 1984 reprinting. So this was 1984. So believe it or not, this was the same year that Elite was released. Let's go to the big camera. So there we are, 1984, the year Elite, the year I bought Elite. So I got Elite and this at the same time. And I will admit, this, being a bit of a kind of Star Trek thing, was of interest to me, and I really did enjoy playing this. I never once managed to get this right. Never once managed to find my way home. Even if I tried to actually cheat and backtrack my way from the last... Oh shit! Oh dear. I'm dead. I'm a dead man. So I'm going to stop this stream once I'm finished, and I'll be leaving the country. So I'll be somewhere, by the time you maybe see this on YouTube, I'll be somewhere on my way to Africa. I mean, it was a good goal, I have to say. But again, I have to say, what the hell are they playing at? Yeah, that might be a good idea, actually. No one saw a thing. Let's just not talk about that anymore. Yeah. It's not funny now, is it? I actually had some confidence that we were going to win. Now I'm not so sure. Hello. Nothing happened. I was just extolling the virtues of this, and then Croatia scored. It's all gone to shit. Right. So we'll go back to the game now. Now that you're back, we were basically on pause until you got back, dude. So you're back now, so we'll carry on. Okay, so we're going to travel to the black hole at sector 288. Boop. Now you've worked out where to travel, you need to work out when to be there. You organise a list of potential times a space warp could occur. You remember Doozy's consultation with his mapping section on the spaceport. He provided you with Stardate 77 as a potential time after returning from his meditative trance. So we can go there at that point, or we can pick one at random. Let's just go with that one. With time and coordinates locked in, you set a course for what you hope will be the way home. You set course and arrive at the black hole, dropping out of warp speed some distance from it.
Carefully planning your angle of entry and velocity, you head into the dark void. You feel the ship being taken by the immense gravitational force and order all crew to strap themselves in. Suddenly the ship lurches forwards and begins to speed up. The G-force is unbearable. You are wrong with the rest of your crew. Pass out. I don't think this is going to work. It's too easy. Oh no! I was right. We's dead, man. We're dead, Jim. You will never know whether or not this was the correct black hole. Perhaps it was your angle of entry, or maybe it was your speed, or even the information you have. Whatever the error, the Traveller never emerges from the void. Your mission has been unsuccessful. Sorry. Yeah. That's the only bit, the only ending I've ever had for this book. The only ending I've ever had. We dead. So there you go. What do you think of that then? That's an hour and 25 minutes of fighting fantasy goodness. So I actually quite enjoyed that. It's a nice way of putting it together. It's essentially the book on the screen. Not a lot of inventiveness in terms of how it's been put together. The graphics are lovely. The images that they've put together for it are really nicely rendered. And some of them look that Duzo or whatever his name was, or McMall, the picture of that guy was quite nice. So yeah, it's nice. It's the book. I can't really say much more about it. It's the book. It's a very nice interpretation of the book. So I'm quite happy with that. So let's cut out of that just now, as I watch the sad sight of England get beat. But it works well as a system. Expensive? No, it was dirt cheap actually. I think it was about £4, 3 or 4 quid. We've also got, you've got so many different ones on there. You've got this Fighting Fantasy Classics is the main one that comes out. I mean, my stream channel tonight is Final Fantasy Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which is one of the Final Fantasy classic stories. And it's quite. It's a free download. Hang on, just let me put on something else. Let's go to Starship and pull in Sorcery. That's not rendering particularly well. Okay, I'm going to remove that. I'm going to grab that. Window capture 3, sorcery. It's not working too well. That's right, Daddy Huggy, yeah, it was the first book. Exactly correct. Okay, try that again. That doesn't want to render particularly well. But it doesn't want to render at all. Okay, so I can't show you sorcery, I'm afraid. Sorry about that. Who have they broken? I can't show you that one in that case then. That's a bit sad. Bit of a bugger. Okay, let's see. If I move OBS all the way over there, move that right down to the side and get rid of it out of the way. Get rid of that out of the way, get rid of that out of the way. Move that as far down as I can get it and open that up. And then go to window capture and sorcery. Okay, I'm going to try and do something. No, it's not liking it at all, is it? Okay, let's try adding a game capture to it. So let's go to add game capture. Capture a specific window, sorcery. Oh, it's not liking that at all, is it? Well, that's a bit of sad. I can't play sorcery. Oh man. There's got to be a way of doing it. I know, I'm gutted. I was looking forward to playing that online. Right, if I uninstall it, and let's install it again. It doesn't take long. It's a very small game. Oh god. 4 minutes left until the nastiest event in history. Nice, nicely given away, well done. I have to admit, I mean, I've watched a few of the games that England have played, and the game against Colombia was abysmally bad. The game against Sweden, they seemed to be comfortable. and did well because they seem to be comfortable on the ball. But this game, all the way through it, I've just seen them look as if they're panicking, like they're nervous, and they just can't settle themselves down. You're playing like a bunch of kids, and Dele Alli's abysmal display there was absolutely ridiculous, and is kind of significant in the way that England let themselves get down. Look at them all, wandering about with their heads down, not looking happy. They've given up. And this is their biggest problem. Wow. Right, so sorcery. Let's try that again. Right. Start sorcery. Window capture 5. Nope, that's the football. Add. Window capture. Window capture. Sorcery. No, it's not pulsing. God damn it, it's just not going to work, is it? There's no other way I can capture that window, is there? Media source? No, it's a file for a video. Remove. I'll tell you what, let's not have the football on because we all know what's going to happen now. Let's not watch the end. Okay, so that's not going to work. Add. I capture the display, will that grab it? Well, that should. Why the hell hasn't it? It's the last minute and there's a fucking free kick. And I've taken it off the screen so you can't see it, and I'm not fussed because I'm not watching it. I'm too busy trying to get this sorted out. That's it. It's done. Fuck's sake. Fuck's sake, England. Although I have to say, I had a feeling that was going to happen. I had a feeling they'd underestimate and they'd play like twats. And I really thought in that first 20 minutes that they were going to do well. But what the hell happened in the second half? So, how the hell am I going to sort this out? Add. Scene? Remove. Okay. Well, no, that's a bit of a bugger. I'll have to try and work on that at some point then. Yeah, so I can't get sorcery working for you guys. I'm very sorry about that. Shall we take a look at something else then? Let's see, where's my Steam window gone? Let's have a look at my Steam library and my installed games. So these are the games I've got installed. I'll give you a look in a second. Let's grab window capture and grab the Steam window. Okay, there's my Steam window for you. Okay, so in terms of RPGs, or game board related games, we have a few options in there that we can have a look at for the last half hour or so. Fallout's kind of a kind of game RPG type thing, because the original Fallout is more of an RPG than the later games, because the original ones, if your display captures matter, it has an effect. If a game is in full screen mode, then it grabs priority on the screen. So if you then flip between different windows, it doesn't show the window that your game's in, because it has to minimise it out of the way. If you're running in a windowed or borderless mode, borderless is the way that Elite Dangerous runs, then you can flip between different windows and it won't affect your background. It won't affect your gameplay window, so you can have that on screen and do other things at the same time. Windowed obviously is the best. Do I have Tabletop Simulator? I do indeed! I do indeed. Is it something you want to take a look at? Can I start that not in Steam mode? Can I just play that in 2D? Hoping so. Don't fire up the Oculus, please. Okay, let's take a look at that then. So let me change my streaming page. So go to dashboard. Tabletop Simulator. Okay, let's just get that put back on screen. So that's in a window. Done that, get rid of that. Where's OBS? OBS, OBS, OBS. There it is. Hey, that came up automatically. That's clever. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, boop, boop. Remove. Add. Game capture. Specific window. Tabletop Simulator. Okay. There we go. Good for VR, but it's in some of our own manual tabletop war games on it. Yeah, it actually looks really good in VR. I'm not going to do that just now. And create a game, create a single player at the moment. DLC, do I have any DLCs? No. Classic. Shall we have... we're looking at RPG, so let's have a classic RPG layout for it. Let it load in. No, wait for it to respond, it's fine. There we go. So, essentially, as you can see, we have a table floating around in a field. You can change the backgrounds and so on for it. So you have your general RPG stuff. You have building blocks that you can use to make tiles with. So if I take one of those, pop it there, take one of those. Does it allow you to snap things together? Yes, it does. Take that one. Put there. And there. And there. So there we go. So let's grab our Skelly Bob. Put him on there. Move him around slightly. Yep, there we go. And he can face off against that chap. Gonna turn him round. Clearly not. Oh, Vicky's fallen. There we go. Put him there. So yeah, I mean it's quite a nice little setup there. You can customise it all obviously. So if I go to objects, tables, let's go for a round glass table. Nice. That's obviously kept all my settings on there. So objects, components, grab some dice, some plastic dice, a couple of d6s, because we like d6s, don't we? Is that enough dice? Oh, a couple of black ones in there as well, because I like black dice. Huh. Lock. 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 Cool. Yeah, the physics are actually really good. The collisions and the rollability in the physics, so the general gravity effects are actually really good. They're quite realistic. It's a pretty nice little game. Delete. 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 What's that? It's a dude. It's an orc. Work. Delete. Hey, Wolfie. Get rid of him. And him. And maybe all of them. Ah, I did try that earlier, but it didn't work. That's weird. I obviously did it wrong. Ah, the good old beholder. We love the beholder. Oh. Skelly Bob. Poink. Copy. Okay, I'm going to do how do I paste? Like that. Instant skeleton army! So yeah, skeletons everywhere. And the fact is you can get really close as well. Scarily close. I'm Batman. So, yeah. There's your, oh, zombie. Or is it mummy? Mummy. Who the hell? So yeah, I mean, you've got your standard fantasy RPG fare there. You've got a dragon, which looks pretty cool actually. Honestly, I don't actually know. I have played a couple of bits and pieces of this. As a building tool, I've not really got into doing much with it at the moment because I bought it and downloaded it as a way to try and get a Elite Encounters game going properly. There is scripting. I mean, you have got a scripting object, so if I grab one of those characters, you've got a scripting object there that you can go into the scripting editor and do some stuff with that, so you can make it actually do something. So you can program it in using Lua. You also have a UI option for it. Don't know what that means. So there's documentation for all that to sort out. I've not looked into this in any great depth at all. I'm actually thinking, did I save the options that I had? Because I did have a set of objects that are created for the RPG, the Elite Encounters. Now I've got a feeling I may need to import it again. But again, I can't remember it. The only thing I would say about this is it's not particularly intuitive. So if we go to a single player, save and load. It doesn't seem to have an option for loading in the stuff that I had before, which is irritating. Workshop, no, nothing there. So you can create your own, so you've got a custom. So this is your board for a board game, so you can all do that. Yeah, I'll take Garcini's right there. It's a physics simulator which you can put stuff on. What I did with it was oh, hang on, saved objects. Oh crap. So I mean, I did create stuff and it's not there. Now what you have is you have this stuff here which doesn't want to move now. I just don't like the fact that it floats everything. So you have a tablet. You can actually use that tablet to go to places you want to go. So if I'll go to daftworks uk/RPG, it'll dial you into whatever you want. Now if you have, for example, an online site where you have a rule book, so if you have a rule book on your on a website or a bookstore somewhere, then you can actually use it here. So you can have that be your rule book. So you can have a tablet with your rule book on it. You can make some notes on there.
You can have a music player, you can have a timer. So you've got options to put different things on there to create your own little environment for your game. This is obviously something that'd be useful for something like a card game, so Cards Against Humanity or something like that. You could do something like that. You've got your dice, obviously, that you can have. Just close that off. You can create your own card set. Now, I have created a card set somewhere. Typically enough, it's not in the path there, so wherever I've put it, it's on my hard drive somewhere. I made a card set up and then saved it, and I don't seem to have that anymore because it won't let me load anything in. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can add into it. So you've got your chips, your dice, figurines, custom figurine. You can make something that's like that. So the way I was intending to do the Elite Encounters figures actually works like that. So yeah, it's the way it will work. It's fully customizable. So as Mr. Garzini says there, it's a physics simulator, which essentially simulates the environment that you would sit and play an RPG in. I've seen people have this all set up, so they have multiplayer options. So you have 6 sides, so that you have 8 sides to that table. Sorry, can't count. And a multiplayer player will be at each corner of that table playing a card game, and you're all represented in the multiplayer aspect. Each of you can then interact with what's on the table, so you can. Now, if I remember rightly, let's have a look at some of the DLC, because I know there is a DLC for Cards Against Humanity. But it doesn't seem to be on this list, because I've seen people playing it. Tiny Epic Galaxies is something I do own, so it's something I'd quite enjoy to have in here. Learn how to play it. Classic. Workshop. No, it's not let me search in there either. But yeah, so you could have, it's an environment that you can play games in more than anything else. The interaction you can simulate. Blind Speed, thank you for the sub again. Welcome to the stream, and thank you for watching and all that jazz. You just love that emoticon. So yep, cool. Welcome back, and again, thank you. So yeah, we can create objects and put them in there. Let me just have a quick look in some of my folders. 42. Oh, where would it be? Where would it be? Where would it be? Where would it be? I have actually got it in there. Okay. Okay. Oops. There. Okay, so would that work? Options, objects, components, cards, custom, face, Where's RPG? Tabletop Simulator mod. So that's not letting me import the entire thing. Now I actually had this done. I had this exported as an actual thing to plug in. Oh, it's just too much like fanning about. Objects, cards, standard. Right, so essentially, you can see the idea. You can import your own stuff. Obviously, it's not done this right because I haven't set it to the same things I had before. So the cards themselves are fairly well done. What do we have? Tiles was one of the options we had something for, but it's not represented on there just now. So objects, saved objects. No, objects, components, custom, tile, top image, ship counters, local, import. Again, the wrong fucking size. You can tell what I'm trying to achieve. You see, the thing you cannot actually do is you've got the option to do that. So if I delete that, delete that, delete that. Let's just delete everything on this fucking table. Delete. 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 So tile. Box. Thickness. Stackable. No. Was that a tile or a tile set? Deck. Four. Nine, 18, 27, 36, 35, 35, let's try 35, 35, import, oh, of course I do. Well, that didn't work. It was 9 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. but that didn't work because it's just done it like that. Arse. Oh, I see. Right, so yeah, there's the idea. There's what I'm trying to do. Thank God for that. Right, so we've got all our counters for ships right there. Right, so they should be 4x4 roughly. So that's one of each ship is on there. I need to actually find a better back image for that, but that just shows you them all. Yeah, thanks for that, Garzini. It's so long since I've used it, and I only ever used it once, and I managed to do this layout. So once you know what you're doing, once you get the hang of it, and if you use it all the time, it's quite simple to use and quite versatile in the way you can put things like this together. You also have the ability to turn, so you can do all your movement stuff that you need. It does do set movement as well, so although you may not have freedom of entire movement, you've got enough freedom there to be able to emulate the game the way it works. You can also use the cards themselves as a measure. Now if you want to know where to dump something and how far you're moving, you can use the shadow as an outline as to where you're actually moving, or you can move it along the ground like that by using the right mouse button. So yeah, it works. As I say, once you've got it set up to the way you want it to work, you can do whatever you want to do. So we could have, oops, somebody starting off down there, somebody in SRV over here, putting them back on the stack as well if you need to. Let's say we've got a Sidewinder having a go at an SRV. Move the deck, no, move the deck over there, out of the way. Okay, go back there, grab some dice. Well, again, that's something that can easily be done. We want to make a measuring stick. Then we can potentially do that with some of the assets from the thing. So we've got miscellaneous. Have we got an option for a tile? Custom tile. Import top image. There you go, there's your range ruler. Of course, we have also the option to do it this way. So let's grab an adder. No way of sorting the scale as far as I can see. There's a better way to do it, but obviously it may go on the actual size of the image itself. So I know I've made them quite big, and obviously if you, as you can see there, that's about double the size, or is it? Yeah, because that's one. Yeah, so I'm not kind of changing the size of that at all. Scale, there we go. So scale, there you go. So that's how you can do it. That should approximately be the same size. That's close enough. So a little bit mucking about and you can get it right. So that's your range ruler at the right scale to the base. So you can put that on there, and you can do your measurement. And obviously you can rotate that the same way that you can rotate anything else. So you take it from the centre of your thing. Now hopefully there's a way of making that transparent as well. So I want to move that way, which I can do. Okay, so I'll then take my piece and move it there, and then I can face that way. Move that out of the way. And there's my move done. Look at that, dude. Yeah, I need to get rid of that. Delete. 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 Nope, can't even fucking grab it. Delete. So, there you go. That's essentially how easy it is to work out how to do these things. All the options are there to muck about. Is that the rotation angle there? It is, isn't it? Now that 15 degrees is useful for elite encounters because essentially I think the rough angle setup has actually been done is about that. So the only thing I don't like is obviously it makes it into a box rather than just a thing. So we have... Can I make that smaller? Yeah, there we go. I'd like it if we could just do that as a card. You probably can. I mean, that's a token. Can I do that? Let's try that. Let's have that. Local thickness 10. Import. That works just as well. Also gives you your lines down the side, which might work fairly well. So I mean, that works just as well as your tile. Your deck, you actually have to make a particular image with that set of dimensions, and a particular back image for each one that will go. I'm not entirely sure what I've done with the images I had for that, but yeah, so that's the basics of it anyway. As I say, I'm sorry I'm not more familiar with it than I should be. I did want to use this quite a lot, but trying to create a set of assets and try and save them, I can't work out how to do it. Other than actually uploading them as a set of assets, I'm not sure how to work on a bit of it and then come back to it later. It doesn't seem to want to let me do that. So it is a bit weird in some ways that it is weird in some ways that it doesn't let you work on a project to try and import or create a game. Now obviously I'm missing something. I'm sure Garzini can probably work something out as to what I'm missing here. Let's go for a custom square table. And then I can colour that a different colour, hopefully. Can I? Wow! That's a bit weird. Can't get rid of that now. Can you? No, so you do it like that. Right, so you're actually saving a game more than ours rather than saving the objects you've used. Trying to rewind time and it's not letting me actually get rid of the drawing. I want to get rid of the drawing. I can get rid of everything that's on the table, just not the drawing. Why can't I get rid of the drawing? Oh my god. But. Oh. That's not particularly intuitive. Right, rectangular table. So in the background stuff I'm not overly impressed with. It doesn't lend itself well. Backgrounds. Let's go for sunset. See, your table's floating around. It doesn't make me feel like it's thing. It is rubbish. That really does need to be sorted out to make it look like an actual environment where you can play a game. But yes, I mean that's it. You've got objects, you can import components, custom ones. We'll get our tile back. Local, go that. Not stackable. Bottom image. Import. There's our piece. Copy. There's another one. So we've got two adders. Adder v-adder action. Tile. Import. Oops. Test. Shot. Local. Medium. Local. Thickness. Import. scale. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've got that. We can flip that over as well. Remember rightly that. Cool. So you've got short range, medium range. That's pretty cool. That's about right, isn't it? And you can just copy that, paste another one in, and you've got your medium range. So we'll just move across to there. I only want to move 5, so we'll go there. And there you go. So there you go. Even import model. So if you have a 3D model you want to pop in, and I'm assuming it's got a particular type of model that it'll use. I'm not going to go through my folder structure online, but yeah. So that's pretty much it. You can import, as I said, you can use maybe the only thing I've found an issue with at the moment is in terms of doing an RPG. If you have a character sheet, you don't have a way of writing on it particularly effectively, at least as far as I've seen so far. Garzini maybe would know more, but when I've tried to do that, it seems to be that you have a notepad or a notebook. So we've got components. I don't want that, we'll go away. Tools. You've got a note card and a tablet are pretty much the only thing you can really have. The tablet, you could probably do an online form of some type that would allow you to store it. I don't know, but all I know is that there's no really easy way that I've found so far to be able to stock that on. You have a tile set for RPGs but not character sheets, which is a bit of an omission actually. I think in terms of what you should have if you're going to create a tabletop environment, you should have some way of having a character sheet. I don't get why they haven't done that, but never mind. Yeah, so on a tablet, on a notepad possibly, something like that. So can you do something other than just websites and stuff on there, or does it have to be a website? So you can pop that out, as you can see, and just use it as a web page. So not really sure. Full file. See, it's just a browser. It's all it gives you is a browser. It doesn't give you anything more useful like an actual tablet would. So it's just a browser window. So you'd have to create some kind of online version of your character sheet that could store your information. So maybe something like Roll20 would work. So I wonder. Roll20.net. Sign in. Nope, it's not my password.
Well, anyway, there you go. You could use that potentially. There's a because you can create a character sheet in Roll20, and you might be able to pull it up as a web page on there and use that as your character sheet online as well. So that would work. So in conjunction with Roll20's character sheets, I'm going to try and sign in again because I want to know if that works. Hey, that's it. So if I go to the game we're playing with Chaos Dispenser on a Sunday, open that out, go to there, pull out my character sheet, pull it as a separate window, please load. Oh man. Okay, there you go. So that'll work. So that's the characters. That's the character sheet there. And maybe a thing you can use in the background. But essentially, there you go. There's your character sheet. You can edit those fields. We can actually roll dice on there as well, but we don't need to, because all we really need to do there is work out how many dice we need for that. There you go. So, in conjunction with the character sheets in Roll20, if you know how to use them, you've got this entire environment that you can use to set up games. Now you've got your obviously the miniature aspect of it in this game is where it's at. But obviously, if you have other miniatures games that you enjoy, you can set them up in there as well. If you want to play games that are as part of the thing, then it's okay. You can create your own stuff and script it. You've got your workshop thing, so yeah, you've got a fair load of stuff. So yeah, that's the stuff that I've got on my cloud account for this. So yeah, there you go. As I say, I think it's a little bit fiddly. Some bits of it have been thought out really well. Some bits haven't been thought out as well as they could have been. So there's no direct scaling when you import an image onto a tile. It will give you the scale of the approximate image itself. So it will give you the dimensions of the image as your tile. So obviously with the rulers there, it's done it as the long thin size, and obviously there it's a square. Your tile is too thick if you want to use it like that. It should be a card, which is the way it was designed. You can do it as a stack of cards if you like, but it's really finicky to do that. Because you have to create a deck of cards, specify the dimensions, specify the welcome width of your cards, and then create an image that has that dimension on it, which is a bit piddly. At least I know it's trying to make it a little bit easier, but I think it would work a lot better if you had the option to just say, right, I just want to create this deck of cards one card at a time. So this is phase 1, this is phase 2, this is phase 3. These are the backs that are consistent, which makes it a little bit unwieldy. But the basics are there. I think the intermediate steps are pretty much there, but when it comes down to the detail, there's something just that little bit missing from it. It does have the ability to detect when you've hit the surface of something, which is nice. So rather than clipping through the table, it doesn't let you do that. It just doesn't do that at all, does it? And you also have the ability to flip the table as well. Flip. So that's how the cookie crumbles. Bye! God, it falls for infinity. There it goes. So, with that lovely scenery in the background of an unknown city, I'm going to call that a halt to this evening. I hope that was an interesting first attempt at doing an RPG/adventure type stream. Starship Traveller is a little bit different to what I expected. It's quite a simple version. I'm really pissed that I can't get sorcery to work in Steam and streaming technology, but I think it could be quite a fun game to play. The Starship Traveller is a very faithful representation of the book, presented very nicely. I did enjoy it, and it brought back a lot of good memories of playing those games back in the day. So I'm going to call it a night. Next week's theme, if I remember rightly, it is creativity. So it's the creative stream. So I'll be looking at things like 3D printing, 3D design, 2D art. So any kind of productivity, like writing. So I might take a look at the writing process, which I know Drew is doing on a Monday nowadays as well. I'll take suggestions essentially for what we look at. My intent at the moment is to take a look at how 3D design can go into 3D printing, and what to do if you're trying to design something that will 3D print properly. That's my general idea at the moment. That's it really. So yeah, tune in next week. I hope you enjoy that kind of thing, but I hope you've enjoyed this week as well. I have enjoyed it immensely. It's been good fun, and hopefully we shall be back next week on schedule. Hopefully no damn football now that England's bloody out. Can't believe they played like the bloody bunch of wallabies that they are. So yeah, spread the word about the stream. Please put some posts on social media, that kind of stuff, just to kind of spread the word on the sort of stuff that we're doing here. I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care of yourselves and have a great week. Hopefully back on Sunday for the RPG for Elite Encounters as well. Alternatively, see you next Wednesday. Take care, peeps. Good night.